I'm telling you, the doll is possessed.
Dude, it's just a harmless doll. I mean, you saw too many of those, haunted house movies. I mean, it's not like Chucky is gonna come out to life and try to attack us, doing the old Brad Dourif thing.
Yeah, but Chucky is possessed by a human soul. This one looks like it's been possessed by a demon.
You have saw way too many Conjuring movies. All right. It's just a doll.
Yeah,
Regular doll. See, nothing happened.
Yeah, but what if it's like that Annabelle? Maybe it's possessed by some type of demon that actually allowed it. That somebody actually agreed to let the spirit to live within the doll. I mean, just look at his eyes.
Who in their right mind would let a demon live in a doll? That's the stupidest pun ever. Come on. We got a review to do.
I'll get back at you.
Hello, welcome to our in review. Today we're going to tell you about the little film we just saw recently in advance called Annabelle Creation.
Yeah, so pretty much it's actually Annabelle 2, but it's actually a prequel to the original Annabelle movie.
So basically a prequel to a prequel before The Conjuring.
Yeah, that sounds a bit right.
It's like Conjuring prequel times 2.
Oh yeah, I mean in this movie pretty much it's talk about the origin of how Annabelle actually got possessed in the begin with.
Well, it's more like how Annabelle came to the doll in the first place, to be more exact.
Yeah, because to try to say that Annabelle is not really the name of the doll, it's actually the name of a little girl in the beginning of the movie that she was a fond of her father's work since her father is a doll maker.
And guess what he made? He made the doll that the doll finally possessed, which the demon possessed in the first place. And that's where, our really great horror story starts. It starts out where everything, like you see these, I guess you say the orphanage girls for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
The orphan girls, along with Sister Charlotte, if I, remember correctly. And what happened is, there's a simple rule, they live at the Mullins place, the doll maker's place, because recently, before then, their daughter was killed in a horrific accident.
More of got hit by a car.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much, it was a horrifying car accident. Let's just put it that way.
I flinched in that scene. I mean, I do not want to see any children get killed in any way.
Well, even though that was kind of like a little spoiler, but you know what? I'll let this slide. But that's kind of how it's to be expected, like how she died, and then. Turns out, well, it wasn't really her, and then it turns out to be a demonic demon who, took place of, the mother's weakness, and that's how it got into the doll. Because if we watch Conjuring, for that matter, they already explained to us, like, oh, it kind of possessed in a way if you let them in. So, in our real story, this is where, like, two girls, only one of them was, handicapped because she had polio, and believe me, back then polio was kind of like this thing that's almost uncurable at the time.
It's kind of like today's society where the people are trying to unvaccine kids, and the kids are starting to get measles. It's kind of like that back then, where polio is like the measles of today's age.
Yeah, exactly. I know there's another movie that will explain that. If you saw a new Andrew Garfield trailer, I forget what it was called, but I recently saw that one and thought that looks pretty cool. Anyway, back to our subject. So what happened is our girl, decides to, go in this room, even though the girl's father at one point, tells her, whatever you can go in any room you want except for this one kind of room, and that was his late daughter's room. It was Annabelle's old room.
Actually, it's two rooms. Actually, they can't go inside the mother's room since the mother's is
oh, that's right,
paralyzed. And the second rule is never go inside Annabelle's room.
Yeah, that is right. I almost forgot about that because we only saw the screening once, and believe me, this was like a special screening that time.
We saw it in the month of July, right?
Yeah, we did. We saw it like weeks ago, actually. It was an advanced screening, to be more per se. If you're trying to ask, how'd you get into that one? That's the $1,000,000 question. You've got to go online. Warner Brothers did one through Twitter, which I happily did, and then we both went to saw it, and we had a great time. We even brought back like Annabelle necklaces, like the little charm to
Yeah,
keep spirits away.
sometimes you gotta keep an eye out for it because during the advanced screenings that they often give a contest of win prizes or say a question and if you get the answer right you get a prize. This one is that they just hand out the prizes once you walk inside the building.
Yeah, sometimes they do that, or I even got neat T-shirts, from time to time. It was between either that or baseball tickets, which I'm not gonna go.
Yeah, but anyway, the Annabelle is actually pretty good. I mean, I'm more into the whole supernatural world. I often do a lot of YouTube videos, stuff like that. I try to understand the paranormal. I even try to get the idea and all that stuff. So far, basically, the old days that the reason why the demon possessed the doll because the doll has no soul. It represents a human body. So when it says that, oh, let me in, it means that would you let me inside the doll? If you agree to say yes, that either the good spirit or the bad spirit will possess 99.9%, it will be an evil entity, no matter what. The 1% will be, chances are, it will be, an
that's like winning a lottery for, oh hey, the loved one's gonna come back to my life and we're all gonna be like this big happy family again. No, it's never like that. That's like saying like you get a cherry. Oh, there's a bomb. You lose. Simple as that. You get screwed over. With this haunting. And so what happened is our girl, for that matter, went into the room by curiosity, and then somehow she opened the door, which she shouldn't have opened, which had all these, laments everywhere, all these papers.
Yeah, it's pretty much the pages of the Bible. Because they believe that the word of God will keep the evil spirit contained.
Which did not, by the way.
No.
And our girl got into serious overhaul in this one.
She let the monster out of the cage. Now the monster is running around.
Yes, exactly. It's nuts. I do recognize the other girl though, for that matter. Her best friend for that matter was the girl from the second Ouija movie, which that too is a prequel for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
The one who was playing with that pop gun, into that hallway and everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was the girl who got possessed in Ouija, too, for that matter.
Mm-hmm. And the best part of the movie is that they kept it the same way the house Annabelle the 1 actually did. The demon lurks behind the doll. Even like shows how tall the demon is and all that stuff. They did a fantastic job on it. That they got me all scared up that I even got goosebumps on my goosebumps.
That demon kind of almost reminded me of the one from Insidious. You remember that? That demon that looks like looks like Darth Maul with a nail fetish kind of thing, like he's going for transgender kind of thing going.
Yeah, especially with the song "Tiptoe to the Window."
Yeah, that's kind of what it reminds me. Only except it's blue.
Yeah.
Blue and much more. Horns and all that stuff. And boy, that was crazy right there.
I have to say, the people who did the movie, the ones that saw, they always keep me on my toes. And thanks to the original Annabelle movie, I'm still scared of dark areas and stairwells. Ever since I saw the movie The Grudge, the stairwell scene where there are some job sites that I used to work at, and they always scared the crap out of me.
What about the original Grudge? The Japanese version.
That too.
Yeah, so anyway, we're going to go in this little, spoiler territory in this one.
Professor River Songs?
You tell me.
Spoilers.
Anyway, so our girl got possessed in a most crazy, gross manner kind of way, where she's in the wheelchair for that matter, and she's outside, and yet she gets pushed into this barn, where the doll was being made for that matter. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, the usual, oh, I'm crawling away from, the ghost girl for that matter. And then, of course, when the ghost finally catches up to her, it pretty much like saying, two girls in a cup. That's what it kind of feels like because
Yeah.
she vomited in her mouth.
More like two girls in a vomit. I mean, what is up with the vomit? I mean, they did the same thing with The Conjuring. You know, it's the puking into the mouth thing. Is that the ghost fetish or so? It's like, I love you. Here's my vomit.
Oh, God. Even that made it sick, man. That's just crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But, you know what? It was also crazy with the mom, you know, about what happened to her, you know, in between the years when her daughter was killed and the time she agreed to let the doll, you know, let the demon live in the doll.
Yeah, that the father actually made a plastic mold of the doll face just so he could hide the missing eyeball ever since the mother discovered that her daughter, that demon was not her daughter. And when she tried to come up to it by holding the cross, and did the whole cricket bone cracking and started growling. It's like the Conjuring tune with the Cricket Man. Which, by the way, check, you know, they are making the Cricket Man movie,
Yes.
and if you pay attention close to the movie, you'll see some Easter eggs that linger towards the next movie that they'll be doing, which is The Nun. They
Yes.
actually mentioned the Nun in the picture, you know, from The Conjuring 2.
Yes. Because, you know, when we saw Sister Charlotte's, you know, photo, you know, showing Mr. Mullins, you know, the photo of the convent, you know, with her friends and everything, and then he noticed there's a shadowy figure, you know, like in the picture, even when it's like looks like, oh, it's Nooks Norma. Then when flips the photo back, it's like, hey, who's that? It's like, I don't know, I never met her. And then you see the Nun, which you know that they're leaning towards the prequel to, you know,
The Conjuring
The
2.
Conjuring 2, you know, to the, you know, the nun character from The Conjuring 2, which is like, that's both movies, they're both in development, which we don't know when, even though I'm still holding out for Conjuring 3, which I vote that's going to outdo itself.
No, the Warren family, I'm actually big fond of. I mean, they did the Annabelle horror house. You know, they did the investigation and all that stuff. I mean, not like the Poltergeist movie where the little woman says this house is clean. No, they are the real deal. They are.
Yeah, and I'm glad when they did Conjuring 2, they didn't do the Annabelle horror, because to me, that's already a story. That's like
That's been done.
That's been done. You don't need it, because if you wanted that, go back and watch the original.
Not the remake. No.
Not the Deadpool and, you know, Hit Girl movie, you know, sort of thing. No. You're just going to watch the original and have fun with that one, because even though you say, yeah, but that's old. Yeah, watch it. It's this old, but it's great. It's like if you're watching, you know, like the original Poltergeist or the original Exorcist. Like the very first Exorcist, not the sequels that came out later, which god awful.
And the biggest spoilers is that before you watch the Annabelle movie. No, sorry, Annabelle movie. I don't want to say Annabelle. You need to watch the Annabelle movie to get the idea of the ending of the Annabelle creation, because what is that? It ties into it. Remember the scene when this one family, the neighbor, was getting slaughtered? That woman that actually crawled into the house and holding on to the Annabelle doll, she is the one that had the poliosis one.
Yeah, the girl grew up. Let me explain this one. She grew up after she went missing, after the whole thing was over. You know, the whole, you know, she was in the closet. You think, oh, she's going to be in the closet by the time the cops came. And it's like, nope. She crawled out, you know, she bust out, and then she went out somewhere, and she was never to be seen again until when you saw the same nice family you saw in the beginning of, you know, Annabelle 1, for that matter. And then they adopt her, which she goes by a new name, Annabelle. And then you see her grow up, and it's like, okay. And then that's where it is like, oh no. And that's where it ends where it began in the first one, where that poor family, they're going to die.
And the sweetness of the ending, the sweetness actually relate that they actually brought in the Raggedy Ann doll, which is the original Annabelle that the Warren family has held up.
I know. As soon as I saw that, I was like, hey, look, it's the Raggedy Ann doll. You know, that's like a little nod to the real life because everyone knows that in the real life version, it was just a Raggedy Ann doll, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's where, you know, like, oh, we'll say Annabelle, you know, that would make sense. So
Yeah.
And that's still with the Warrens, for that matter. I mean, it never went anywhere. Because even in the sequel, like, oh yeah, we saw Annabelle in Conjuring 2, only like, oh, it's a wink and nod, but it's not like it's going to escape and go anywhere. You know, it's just there.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope so, you know, they do, you know, more of it, for that matter. And in a way, they're doing like this whole, the Conjuring universe, kind of like how everybody's doing the whole multi-universe thing going, like, Marvel's doing this, you know, expanded universe, you know, kind of thing going with the cinematic universe, and then DC's doing theirs slowly, but even though they're getting it right with Wonder Woman,
Yep.
that's like, you know, you do like, I don't know, like three bad movies in order to get one good one.
Yeah. I mean, no matter what, the way I see it, in the most paranormal the experience and paranormal research I do, every single little things is always tied to one big picture, no matter what. It spreads out, but there's always a main thing, no matter what.
So what we suggest is that by the time it comes out, you know, even if it's opening night or later this weekend, take your girl, or dudes for that matter, and just go out and watch this one. You're gonna have a great time. Hell, take your friends, you know, have some laughs. Hell, you might be scared or two, you know, in some scenes.
So I recommend a good high five in this one. What do you think?
Yes, I recommend it.
Yep, one good high five.
All right, we'll catch you next time on the next one. All right, laters.
I'll be the same. I'm still telling you the doll is possessed.
It is not possessed. Come on, get over it.